Welcome to another Demarcation Media Lego review. I'm really excited for today's video because in front of me I have the Lego Power Miners Granite Grinder. So before we start actually looking at the set, let me give you a bit of backstory here. Back when the set first came out, I had found this little bond thing that my grandparents had given me when I was born. It had gotten put in with my baby stuff. It was one of those ones that built up value over the years. And when I found it, it was up to $60 or something, and it was going to be years before it reached its max value, which was $100, and so it was not going to build up that much more. So my parents let me spend it, and one of the things I bought was this set right here, and this set was the first one I ever got with minifigures. Before that, I had just gotten those little creator 3-in-1 builds, they would come in a little plastic container and you get a plane and then you could build into a boat or something else. So those were really cool. Those were what I had before. And so this was the first time I had ever gotten a minifigure, like an actual minifigure. So that was really exciting. I was in the toy store and it was a toss up between this set and an agent set. There was a motorcycle chase. My mom was like, you can get one. Okay. So I went with this one because of this little guy right here. Look at him. How could you not get this set? So I was given this set as a Christmas gift, and it's so good to have it again. It's been years since I had my original copy. It had gotten all taken apart. So it's just kind of a really special set to me, just because it was the first one with minifigures, and it was one of my favorite ones for a long time. I remember just driving this thing around for hours. So let's take a look at this. It's a very interesting box shape. It's kind of not one we don't... I can't speak. It's not one we see very often anymore. It's kind of this long one. We're getting a lot of more even rectangles with Lego sets now. But I just loved... I'm going to be gushing this whole review just because the Power Miners line was so amazing. The way the box is, it's really eye-catching. We've got all this green, so we get to see the Granite Grinder on the front, all the caves in the background, little rock monster eyes, and then the box is this green with all the dirty, hazard lines. This is set number 3, so we got the big 3 here. On the top, we get to see the rock monster chasing the miner. This is Glacialator, the blue dude. I think that guy is supposed to be Duke. There's 2 different versions of Duke, one with a really dusty face. It looks like he has a gray beard. And then this version. So I think this is supposed to be Duke, but I'm not 100% sure. And then around the back, we get to see little Glaciator reaching in to steal the crystal. The feature of the set. Another little feature here. And then it shows that we can combine these two to make that. I actually do have that set. Let's take it apart right now, but I will not be building that. Number 1, the instructions are gone because they used to be on the Power Miners website. And number 2, that looks very awkward. I guess good job for trying, Lego, but that's just very weird. Why would you need a flying mining machine? But yeah, anyway, that's the box. It looks fantastic, and it brings back a ton of memories. Here's the instructions. Very similar design. It's interesting because we look at it this way, and then when we open it, it goes to this way. And then in the back, we get to see the other builds, which they're all kind of awkward looking. This one's the coolest, actually. That one looks useful. That one looks like a spider of some sort. And then the ads in here were just amazing. I remember spending hours just staring at this big scene here, because there's all kinds of stuff. Crystals everywhere, rock monsters. There's just so much happening. Then we get to see all the little rock monsters. I don't want to bend the instructions too much. We got Meltrox, Boulder-X, Glaciator, Sulfurix, Fireox, and then in the Crystal Sweeper, we get Glaciator and Meltrox together. I have 1, 2, 3 of these guys. Glaciator, Fireox, and Boulder-X. Then we got the parts checklist. So yeah, again, I'm going to probably be gushing this entire time just because of how much I loved Power Miners and how much it's still just one of Lego's coolest themes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the actual set and take a look. Here we go. Here is the set itself. We have our 2 minifigures. Our miner here, who, again, I think this is supposed to be Duke. There was 3 named miners, I think. There was Duke, Doc, and Brains. I don't think the other guys got names. But yeah, here is the miner. Here is Glacialator, one of the best figures Lego has ever made. And then the Granite Grinder itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at the minifigures first. Here we go. We have our miner. The Power Miner's getup is just really iconic now. Blue coveralls. We got a little drill symbol. He's got a little flashlight hanging by a chain from his belt. Around the back, got the drill symbol again. These helmets are really cool. I don't think this was the first time they were introduced. I think Rock Raiders maybe had them first in brown. But they made a return here. We've got the little lights up here. There is space to put a visor, but typically they did not get visors. Usually they just came like this, which is pretty cool, honestly, just as is. I like the little breather tubes on the back. And then he came with a dynamite as an accessory. Well, there's actually an axe, but it's attached to the Granite Grinder itself. And I believe this was the first time we ever got this dynamite piece. Before that, it was just 1x2 tile with dynamite printed on it. So that was really cool when these came out. Like, having these was a great accessory. You can hold them on the top like that or on the bottom. They are kind of a soft plastic, which is good because the fuse won't break, but over time they get a bit scratched up. Our miner looks very determined, maybe even a little worried. He has a big, thick unibrow. Got a little bit of a cut, probably from a rock flying up and hitting his face while he's digging. And then he's got some dirt on his face. Then if we turn it around, we get this absolutely fantastic scared face. Look at that. That's just amazing. I love that face so much. I love how high up his unibrow goes. Look at this. It's down there like that. And now it's so high up. Then when you put on the helmet, you can barely even see it. So that's great. This guy is not exclusive. He comes in a handful of other sets. Actually, he comes in the Crystal King, which I have, but he comes with hair in that one. So he's by no means exclusive. You can get him fairly easily, but he's really great. And again, this guy has kind of a special place to me because he was the first actual minifigure I ever got. And here is Glacialator. This is the whole reason I bought this set years ago. Just because, like, looking at the box, as a little kid, what little kid would not want a rock monster? I mean, how cool is this guy? He's so amazing. Literally, this is one of the coolest figures Lego has ever made. He comes with a little crystal, which I believe was new for that kind of era of sets. Comes in blue, looks great. And then Glacialator himself has these little stubby rock arms. His feet are just little nubs, pretty much. Kind of like Kirby feet. They don't move at all. He's a see-through blue and he's got rocks all over him. You can see rocks on the back. And then he can do this. Look at that. So you can kind of have him like that. He looks very mischievous. Oh, like that. Be like really roaring. And he can eat the crystal, which is even cooler. Like, come on. This is basically every little kid's dream right here. My particular guy, this one right here in my hands, for some reason his head was really floppy. So I did have to put a little bit of sticky tack in the joint, but now he's perfectly fine. I mean, just look at that. He's so cute. He's just, oh, he's so cool. My only complaint about the rock monsters in general is that if you weren't careful, so I used to carry my Glacialator around all the time. I'd carry him in my pocket. He came with me all over the place. And eventually his rocks started scratching up. So if you leave him in a big bin of Legos and stuff like that, eventually the rocks will scratch off his his chest, and he'll just have a blue torso. But other than that, he's just fantastic. I love this guy so much. He's great, and I'm so happy to have him in my collection again. Now it is time to look at the grinder itself. So first of all, we can take our dynamite and put it in this little toe behind, like, orange crate thing, which that's like a dump truck back, and I had never seen that when I was younger. So getting that was amazing. The chain too. I remember getting the chain piece was the coolest thing. So the miner can fit in there. The roll cage, which also was a new piece for power miners, folds right over top. And we can just kind of tow this along. So the big kind of gimmick for this set is the fact that it grinds the rocks. So let me just unhook that. We'll put that off to the side. Here's the kind of gimmick for this one. The grinder part will pop in and out as you drive it. That's really just satisfying. It's just really fun to push it around and watch it click. He didn't want to fall over. But yeah, that's a really simple mechanism. It's just on the bottom here. This turns as you turn the treads, which pushes this shaft, which then pushes the grinder part. And because of that rubber band there, it just snaps back. So that's really cool. The build itself is pretty small. You know, it can fit in the palm of my hand. The treads are really nice pieces. I remember whenever I would be tired of playing with the grinder itself, I would just take it all apart and use the treads for my own like tanks and stuff, which was great. We have a lot of stickers on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stickers total on this, which I know some people don't like the stickers, but the Power Miner stickers were just kind of part of their whole thing. Now I'm actually curious. This warning sign sticker, it feels rough, and on the why did the name just go right on my head? The big drill right here. That one up here. They're actually glow in the dark. So now I need to check and see if these are too. So there's no way this is going to show up on the camera, but these white stickers here, the white parts are glow in the dark. Well, I didn't know this when I was younger. I didn't find out about the glow in the dark stickers until I got the... Why can't I remember the name of that drill? I don't remember. This is annoying me. Anyway, I didn't know that was a thing until recently when I got that set again. So I didn't realize that these were too. Although I did get this used, like the set I was given was a used one. And so the stickers aren't wanting to stick as well as they should. So I may have to end up buying another sticker sheet for it. But that's for another time. We have a control panel in there. Just enough space for our miner to sit. Got a little like roll bar back here. This sits in there nicely. If you wanted to, you could probably just toss... Yeah, you can toss that back there. I remember doing that a lot when I was younger. Get back here. And then we have these like oxygen and fuel tanks, which you can remove. Excuse me. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the engine back here, which that was also one of the pieces when I was younger that was like amazing. Oh yeah, there's the axe. I'm not really sure what he's doing with an axe in a mine, but I guess, sure, that's great. And then we just kind of hook that, well, come on, hook that on there, and then we can tow that behind. So that is for like keeping the crystals in. So put the crystal in there. Or if you want to give the rock monster a ride, you can do that too. Well, there you have it. That is the Lego Power Miners Granite Grinder. Now, I probably really don't need to say much more. I think it's pretty clear that this is one of my favorite sets of all time. It's just so good. I feel like Lego's like golden era really was around like 2009, 2010, and a little after when Fantasy Era was coming out. Space Police was out. Power Miners was out. Atlantis followed up the kind of what Power Miners was doing a couple years after that. It was just good. The sets were not... they weren't so catered towards fan bases. I still really like Lego, but they really have lost some of their creativity, I feel, and a lot of their stuff is catered towards like fan bases. So we've got a lot of Star Wars, a lot of Marvel, a lot of Harry Potter, and it's all more complex builds, trying to make everyone happy in these fan bases. And I just miss when they had sets like this. It was simple, but it was cool. Like, this was one of the coolest things. The whole Power Miners line, Space Police, Fantasy Era, Atlantis, all of those lines were just so brimming with creativity. The designers really just kind of went with whatever wacky designs. I mean, like, look at this. This is a pretty wacky design. With the big pointy front, the single light, the treads. It's just weird and awesome. The rock monsters, I mean, look at that. Lego wouldn't do this anymore for their own stuff, really. They want to cater to the fan bases, and I understand they have to kind of do that to make money, but gosh, I miss when they were this kind of Lego. This was just so cool. So, if you want to get your hands on this, I mean, they're all over the place online. The prices vary. Sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're not. It depends on if you want it sealed or not, that kind of thing. But overall, I think they're fairly easy to get your hands on. I think this one was like $23 online, which it's more than you would have paid originally. I think this was like a $15 set originally, maybe 20. No, it couldn't have been 20. It had to be 15. So 23 for being an older set is not bad. And you get Glaciator. Look, you definitely need one of these. Even if you're not a diehard Lego fan, you should have a rock monster, okay? You need a rock monster. Go buy a rock monster. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time!